variety of
Yo, what's going on, people? Daniel here, and we're back again with another TheAKwatch, no longer rewatch episode for Kaguya Season 3, Ultra Romantic. And once again, I'm here with my co-host, Rajel. Say hello to the people, Rajel.
Hey, what's up, guys? Glad to be back, being consistent. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are kicking and swinging and living your best lives.
Yes. Feel of low energy today because the heat is taking me out, but we're gonna try to get through this.
But the heat has been monstrous today, and sometimes it's hard to be in a room, hold up because you're trying to keep all the audio in. You're trying to keep the voice in. But it's hot.
Definitely.
It's hot. But that's calm. Let's just jump straight into it. This episode of Love is War. Usually, like we do, what did you think of this episode altogether compared to other episodes that we've seen this season?
Probably one of the weaker ones from the season. Obviously, it was a step down from what we had last week. Wasn't necessarily bad, but in terms of what they covered, the best way I would put it is it felt like it wasn't really a main episode. It was more like a preparation episode where they're just putting down the groundwork for future events. So didn't really feel like much happened, but it was more subtle things, I guess. What about you, Rajel?
No, likewise. I felt like legit nothing actually happened in this episode. Nothing that was profound or had any immediate consequence. There might be one or two of note topics that we'll go over when we're running through this, but overall, especially you can tell with the format, everything was so every section followed each other, and not in the usual way when it adds something like a different aspects. It just followed each other directly. It could have been just one episode without sections.
Yeah, it felt kind of reminiscent of the season 1 episode where it was just an amalgamation of events that was happening during the school year. Didn't really have much continuity, but I mean, the individual parts were still enjoyable. It's just didn't really, move me that much. So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Anyway, let's just jump into the first section. The student council wants to move forward, and kind of synopsis or overview. It's like parents' evening. Everybody's thinking about the future, what their next step will be regarding academics or work or uni or college, whatever. And you kind of get Kaguya. And from the beginning, when this was introduced, I knew that Kaguya would be the one left out. It's one of those when I felt so sorry for her, because I know that some aspects of that parenting that she kind of desires, she's never gonna get. But obviously, she's still in such a privileged position in life that I don't know how to balance my thought process regarding that.
Yeah, I think the whole idea of parents' evening is just setting up for end game, really, even though we're not close to the end. But just thinking about, obviously, they're only in school for a limited period of time, and once that time is over, everyone is going to go their separate ways. They're going to do their own things. They're going to do what they want to do in life. So it's just showing the reader or watcher that the paths are starting to diverge, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I do definitely like how they're all just taking it within their strides, but with different kind of strive and steps towards that. Like, you have Ishigami, who you can tell that he has things that are in place, but he's that kind of chill vibes only kind of guy that he's like, you know what, maybe if I just position myself in the right way, I don't have to do anything, I don't have to work, I could just chill. And then Ino is out here firstly shutting down Ishigami's ideas, but she's headstrong, she kind of knows, and I'm surprised how early she knows what she wants to do, and not in, because sometimes a lot of people know what they want to get into early, but they're also open, they leave themselves open to see like other opportunities, or whatever comes, I might change my mind. She was like, yeah, I'm basically going into law, and that definitely suits her personality like perfect.
Yeah, I think with Miko, one of her parents is involved in the judicial system. I think the other one's like a humanitarian, so it makes sense for her to go down that path of law, but she's still confused. I don't know if I could see her as a judge. I think she's probably going to be a lawyer because of the way she's trying to enforce justice. And I don't know, maybe as she grows older, she'll learn to become more impartial and open to hearing both sides before making harsh judgments. So she could become a judge too. And then with Ishigami, I believe as he works throughout this year, he's gonna find what he wants to do in doing that, because he is only a first year, so that's something that the second years like Kaguya and Shirogane can help him, as because he did say CEO was one of the things that he was interested in, so that means he is open to the idea of taking a high position in a company and willing to set things up as well, because CEO is no small role. So yeah, I think the idea he has is, it's not concrete, but he's gonna work it out, I reckon.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. He does, when he like puts in a lot of effort and he has the right people around him, you can tell how proficient he can be wherever the role is, and it's kind of cool to see, and it's cool to see and know that there's going to be so much growth within his character, you know what I mean? Yeah, the person that I wouldn't say surprised me but kind of did was Chika, and she has such high ambitions. I'm surprised that she never run for president, and it kind of came off like it was a joke, like she wants to really be the president, not in the school but obviously within the country, or the, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that she actually does have the means, because we actually met her father this episode, and I don't know if we've met her father before.
We saw him during the sports festivals. He was there.
But I feel like this is the first time that we've got a little bit of more personality, and I feel like he's acting. I feel like he's not being living.
He was speaking in that episode as well.
Was he speaking in that episode?
Yeah, that's when he invited Kaguya and Shirogane to the house.
Oh, now you're bringing this. Now it's coming back to me. It's coming back to me now. Like, I don't know. I think I'm taken back by how he seems like such a nice guy and a nice father. How did he spawn such a human being like Chika, who does shine in multiple moments, but I know deep down we understand her corrupt ways.
Oh, he's involved in politics, so that's the answer. That's why. But he seems, I think her saying prime minister is an interesting answer from her, because when she said it, I was like, "Raw, okay, that's not something." And then she said she was joking, and I don't know if she was. I think if they pursued this further, it could be quite a twist. You know, we could actually get something deeper with Chika, because we haven't really got much of anything. All we know now is that she wants to go to a university outside of the school. So obviously that's already different to what the other guys want to do. But yeah, I think the potential for Chika's there, but they kind of just use it for a joke.
Which you kind of said previously, like you said in the other episodes, going on the fact that we don't really get much depth into her character. And even her kind of goals and her ambitions, I just turned into like a banter moment. which is kind of unfortunate, isn't it? Because we did, like, aside from her being like chaotic and wild, like, we do want some character growth and understanding of what her dreams are and what kind of human, because I feel like she's the most talented out of all of them. Like, the things she does with ease, sometimes I feel like she's not even trying, you know what I mean?
I don't know, I think maybe the author just doesn't want to utilize Chica in that way, which I think is kind of odd because all the other characters have got development apart from Chica, you know? And we're in the 3rd season already, and it's mostly been jokes with her.
Yeah, everything legit has been geared towards that comedy element, and sometimes you kind of see things that imply that she has some like greater, you know, purpose or stance or ideals and stuff. But we'll see. Hopefully, like, we eventually get something. If not, she might, when it's all said and done, be such a wasted character. Like, and which is crazy to think because this series is so great and we've applauded it in so many ways. You wouldn't think that the author would, and you wouldn't even understand why he wouldn't utilize her to her max capabilities.
Yeah, well, I think moving to the other guys, I think just before Kaguya went in, you had that scene with Hayasaka and her mom, and I liked that we finally get to see Hayasaka's mom. Kind of gives us some insight into her upbringing. She doesn't see her mother a lot, and I think the Hayasaka we see there is definitely her without the mask, because the way she kind of melted, you know, and she was like, oh yeah, my mom's not gonna come, and my mom was like, surprised, and I was like, oh, that's nice, because I did notice during the sports festival arc she was upset that the mom wasn't there, so I'm happy for her, but I also did feel bad for Kaguya because no one from her family, I mean, I think her mom is not alive, and obviously her dad is just he seems like a bad person, so it's a bit sad for her because you feel that sense of loneliness that she has when she's looking at all the other kids with their parents, and then Hayasaka is right in front of her with hers as well.
Yeah, you can just see the kind of emotions kind of going through, and she's also trying to not express that. She wants, you know, Hayasaka to have a moment and not feel like you have to kind of be like safeguarding your reactions or how you act around your mother because of me and my situation and my feelings. Because you could tell that Hayasaka was kind of, you know what, she was like going back and forth looking Kaguya like, oh, I know this is weird, this is awkward, I don't want to do too much because I don't want Kaguya to even feel more worse, you know what I mean? But then obviously because of how wholesome that moment is and how much you know that Hayasaka also was, you know, appreciative and happy that her mom was there, she couldn't help but, you know, just fall into that, you know, baby girl, baby daughter vibes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can really tell that it's either the relationship, she's starved for affection where she doesn't really see her mum at all, so that's why she kind of goes over the top when she sees her mother, or they're just like that normally. But I think it shows that maybe just Hayasaka and her branch of the Hayasaka family, I'm not really sure how it works, but it seems like they're assigned to Kaguya because Kaguya knew her mum's name and everything, and she was just saying Nao-san. I'm just like, that's an adult, you know, he's saying, calling them by their first name, but obviously the hierarchy is different. And she said one thing that I found interesting, where she said Shinomias must use everything at their disposal. And I think that gives you a look into the themes of the Shinomiya family. And I guess this was present with Maki, where she said, okay, I'll use anything at my disposal seems like they're very I don't know what the word or how I want to phrase it, but like they just want to use everything that they have to get to their goals and make sure that they're in the best position as possible. They're very I don't know, opportunistic. I think that's the word I want to use.
Yeah, it's true. You see how like it must be so strenuous on their relationships just to be that kind of having that high drive and competitive nature and being like you're trying to use every situation to its maximum. That must be so hard on the individuals within that family. And like I said it last time, it definitely does give me that Hyuga clan vibes, and with everything surrounding that family and everything that goes into, you know, just one individual, Kaguya, and how she has somebody who serves her, her mother knows and understands the situation, and there's no odd like reaction to it. It seems so natural. It's something that's weird. Their family dynamics is so weird outwardly looking in, but when you see how people within their family and the like organization, I'm gonna say, call it the Shinomiya organization, they act like it's just natural, which is crazy to me. And I do kind of appreciate how Shirogane's dad and Hayasaka's mum, you know, just wanted to be the parents for the day. And obviously I don't trust Shirogane's dad because he's just a funny guy. But it was super wholesome that they would, you know, kind of put that on their plate, because he didn't have to do it at all. Even though Hayasaka's mom probably felt inclined to do what she did, he definitely didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I think the interaction, while comedic, I guess he's showing that he supports their relationship all the way, and that's good. That's good. And I don't know, I think it was a bit odd the way he was so, you know, it seems like he doesn't have any awareness of personal space, just getting up in her face, and obviously the age difference as well. But I mean, it was funny, but it was also kind of, you know, weird. If it wasn't the president's father, then it's like middle-aged man just getting up in this high school girl's face. I'm just like, bro, you need to relax. But I hear it for the comedy, and I did like how she was like, yeah, I'll be your stand-in dad. So I'm like, okay, that shows that you're willing to step up, and I rate that. But it was also interesting how Kage doesn't really have any plans of her own. She just said, oh yeah, I'll do what my parents are telling me. And I was like, bro, like, that's not really what you want to do. So I guess that will be something that will come up later. The difference between what she's interested in doing and what her parents actually want her to do. Because I've forgotten what the family's actually main business is, apart from like running companies and stuff over. Or maybe they don't because she's a woman.
No, I hear that, because just seeing how she kind of reacts regarding how, like, it seems that she understands the family dynamic in terms of, oh look, even when they were at the table and she had then like said, oh, whatever my family wants to do, and they were trying to empower her on her standing parents are trying to empower her and said, no man, it's like, it's on you. But she was like, wait, this is not even real. Like, this situation, I actually know the reality that I have to live within. And it is tough, and it is kind of peak, and hopefully, like you said, I hope that she's empowered by like the student council and everybody within it and her friends to stand up against, you know, what the norm is in her family, and then she can do something else. Do you have any more anything else to add?
Only that the only that the president wants to go abroad, and then he set a
Oh
deadline for himself.
yeah, I forgot about that. Forgot about that. Oh my days. What do you think about that? Do you think it will happen?
I'm doubtful, but I mean, I think it's just something they did to force the confession, because I feel like they knew that it's getting a bit long. So yeah, it's an interesting. I want to know why though. You know, why does he want to study abroad specifically?
True, they didn't really like share any details. Just, oh, are you sure? Is this what you want? And he said, yes, I want to study abroad. And yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I'm happy for him, but I'm also kind of happy for what it's going to deliver us in terms of, you know, initiating new scenarios where, because we see later on in this episode, might as well move on to section 2. Miyuki Shirogane wants to make her confess. We see how he's deliberating on this whole situation. He's like, oh yeah, I don't have time. This is a countdown. And it cracks me up because when pressure is applied, you know, yeah, you can't dilly-dally. You actually have to make movements. And that's what he basically did. Like this episode, he was trying to, because, you know, like I've said in previous episodes, he is the only one until today in this episode where there's an obvious, you know, acceptance of his outward like for her. And that's why it came with, I think, some ease, where he was able to, I say ease, but, you know, ease relative to Shirogane and Kaguya, which is, you know, this stupidness. It came with some ease where he was able to kind of think of a way where he can do it in a manner that, you know, will be appropriate and doesn't like put his all out there, but gives Kaguya opportunity to kind of, you know, match his level. And that's what he did. What did you think about that?
I think it was good that he's actually deciding to take action for once, and I like that I feel the author knew that we are really dragging this thing out, because now we're getting them to be more aggressive, and he's just been honest. He said, oh yeah, I'm gonna ask her out. So I'm like, yeah, I rate you for doing that. Now what went down in the actual episode, well, the segment, I was just like, bro, this is just... I mean, I feel like the author knew, and then he said, oh yeah, I'm still gonna tease you guys. And I was just like, bro, it's like we made progress, and then you took us like 2 steps back, and I'm like, I'm kind of happy because we made progress, but then it seems like they're still delaying, you know, they're still delaying for this. It can't happen now. And I'm just like, fair enough. But I mean, the guys did not help them, you know, give them courage. The Ishigami, Chika was the one that surprised me. I just feel she's playing up. She's acting obtuse on purpose, because how can she not clock the attraction between them? I don't get it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, we like we said earlier, Chika's a smart girl. She knows what she's doing at all times. She I think she kind of enjoys the interaction, and somewhere in her downtime, she's just laughing about the situation. I feel so sorry for Shirogane, because, and also Kaguya to an extent, because like they've been playing games so much that they can't even recognize when they're not playing games anymore, and they're trying to actually, you know, push forward. Like it's so like awkward and like weird and stressful, because Shirogane set pace, Kaguya unknowingly turns him down, and immediately she realized, oh my days, what have I done? And then obviously she has that conversation with Hayasaka, and there's the moment where I was like, this is actually an opportunity for growth, and I applaud Kaguya. So you can't even say I hate on Kaguya anymore. I applaud Kaguya, because old Kaguya, not even old Kaguya, last week Kaguya wouldn't have done this. Last week Kaguya wouldn't have went and said, you know what, I've changed my mind, I've reconsidered, she's usually headstrong and firm with it. But she was like, I changed my mind, and obviously she wasn't fully direct, but it was direct enough for Kaguya, where you should know that she's asking you out. You know what I mean? She's asking you to reaffirm that commitment that you brought up.
Yeah. I agree with what he said. Yeah, Chelsea lost in it, so.
Oh my days! Stop it. Oh, that's sad. All the Chelsea supporters out there, man.
It was failures, bro. The whole season, bro. 2 times in the final and lose. But yeah, I agree with what you said about Kaguya. She grew this episode. I respected that she walked back and she realized that she had kind of went into autopilot and rejected him, and then she tried to walk it back. So I respect that she tried to rescue the situation, and she threw up the lob. And when I saw, in fact, at the end of the episode, when I saw she throw up the lob for Shirogane, saying, "Oh yeah, if I went with a guy, then I wouldn't have to be afraid of the boys." I'm like, yes, slam dunk that. And then Chica.
Hey, the lob was Magic Johnson in his prime, but Chica came with the block. The block. She said, I reject this. No. Do you know how wild that was? Oh my days. I actually felt sorry for Shirogane and Kaguya, because I thought we were gonna get a cute date next episode. But she could really be the op, purposely being op. She said, no, why don't you go with Ishigami? And obviously Ishigami's out here open and willing to do any bro link up. That was so unfortunate.
It was unfortunate because out of all the people you would expect to block, you wouldn't expect. Actually, you probably would expect Chica because she's the agent of chaos. And I don't know, Ishigami. I like Ishigami. Obviously, he doesn't know how to read the room. He's just like, oh yeah, bromance, and I respect it. But I don't know. It seemed, I don't know. I feel like they're acting oblivious on purpose. I'm strongly believing that if that's not the case, then I'm just like, bro, the author is just making them act stupid. But yeah, it was one of those things where I think Miyuki, he set a timeline for himself, because I liked how you said, okay, if she doesn't confess to me before that, then I'll confess on the last day of the cultural festival. And then now he's kind of laying the foundations to help himself be ready for that moment. But I'm tired of this football, man. Football just hurt me this season,
bro. I'm living your life. I watched Arsenal lose 3-0. I cried. I was the tears.
Arsenal beat us, didn't they?
Yeah, but we lost against Tottenham. We lost against Tottenham.
Yeah, but we lost against Liverpool in the League Cup final on penalties as well.
Okay, your trauma is more than mine this year, but previously, you have a Champions League.
Bro, it doesn't matter, man. We lost Champions League. We lost League Cup. We lost all the cups. That was the only thing we were playing for. We're in top 4 race. It's just disappointing.
I wish we were in cups. You're living my dream. I want to get beat by Liverpool in the cup final. I don't really, but that's how low the bar is. But I know the the viewers are so confused, but we're just suffering, and I hope you guys don't suffer like us. This is worse suffering than we're going through. We're going through it.
I took the wind down my sails, I can't lie.
Understandable. Kind of like how Ino and Ishigami shippers are, might be collecting an L, because there's no way they're getting together, because their views on being open and romantic in school or anywhere. First thing, Ishigami laughed at it, and the next thing Ino just cut it off and said, no, not on school premises. I feel like the shippers should be feeling the same way we are about the football, because I don't think it's happening.
Yeah. So she's just, she's Eno. I can't even be mad at her for what she did to that guy. I feel bad for him, but he should have known to not be doing that when Eno's seeing you.
Yeah, I don't know how Eno is watching all the time. I feel you can't do anything in the open when Eno's around. She has a good heart, good intentions, lawful, but sometimes she does too much. She does way too much.
Yeah, definitely.
So is there anything else you want to say about that section?
I'm just going through in my head. I don't think, apart from like the whole, I think we covered most of it. Not really much to it. Like Miyuki wants to confess, and then he tried to ask on a day and it flopped. Put simply. Basically,
like we said, guys, nothing much happened in this episode. There was no moments where I was really laughing out loud or rolling around. Nothing much happened, but we move. Section 3, Miyuki Shirogane wants to make her confess. I think it was a part 3 actually. That's what I said. It was all the same. It was basically the same thing throughout the episodes. I'm not gonna lie. The thing that kind of stood out for me in this first part was that Shirogane needs to stop with the musical, wanting to do anything musical. And if he brings up one more time, I don't mind if Chika gets him assassinated or something, because he's doing too much. And the way that Chika is reacting every time he brings something musical up, he should know. Because you can't give somebody PTSD like that. You can't have. I can't be feeling sorry for Chika too often. But when Shirogane is around, he's making my heart ache for Chika.
Yeah, the thing is, what I don't understand is he always acts oblivious, as if he's confused why she's worried. I'm just like, bro, you suck at this music thing. I don't know why you keep trying. You flopped massively, and you want her to teach you another thing. You didn't even want to teach. You didn't even want to be taught. But one thing I have to say is I rate how Chika was convert. You can tell she's gifted with cool power. That's something, because obviously if they're different instruments, I don't know how similar they are, but to be able to translate the sheet music, that shows that the music thing is her bag.
No, it's true. I'm not sure how many instruments so far have they kind of showed that she plays. Is it just the 2?
I know piano, and then now guitar, and I'm sure she probably plays other ones as well, to be honest. Because conductor too. She was a conductor and singing.
Oh my days, yeah. Her music bag is very deep and very strong, and I know we're just hitting the surface. Yeah, but that just ability to, translate notes and keys and rewrite it for a different instrument, crazy. And I think that she also has to kind of take some responsibility, and every time she does anything musical, she can't be around Shirogane, because Shirogane is just easily inspired, and it's like the bar is so low for Shirogane. You could just slap one beat on a table and you'd be like, rah, it's every man's dream to be a rock star and drum in front of on the world stage. Like, you just can't do anything that kind of hints to music in any way around Shirogane from now on. And that kind of brought up the theme of this last episode, or last section of the episode, where, like you said, Chika was like, you have to look at yourself objectively. And obviously this was regarding him in the musical element, but he also took it as, also I can apply this to my situation in pursuing Kaguya, and who am I, and how do I come across, and what what do people like about me, and what can I improve? Like, he was kind of he was trying to be the best version of himself, but finally take kind of a less biased look at a situation. And the interaction, that was very jokes. I think that was probably the highlight of this episode for me. When when they were alone in the room, and he walked close to her, slapped her one hand, like, what do you think about me? She was like, oh my days, I might have feeling for this you. And I like how balanced she is. She was like, I'm not just gonna react in the moment. She said, give me some time to think about how I think about you.
I mean, that guy, he definitely misphrased the question. I don't know, he didn't think it through, because I mean, the way he posed it, it was always going to be interpreted that way. And I felt bad for Miko, because she was considering it, and then Chica comes in, and he's just like, okay, what do you think for me? And I found it funny when she just texted her friend, he's a manhole. I'm just like, no, that's fair. I mean, in your eyes, he confessed to you that he confessed straight after to Chica while you were still there. Didn't even let you leave the room. Point blank. I'm like, bro, President, you need to think about your words and your approach to things. But I didn't really like how they were just insulting him afterwards, when he was just like, okay, give me your objective opinion. And then Chica was just using that as an opportunity to rip into him. But I wasn't really a fan of that behavior from Chica.
Yeah, I definitely agree, because those insights on him, like, weren't really, they were heavily biased on everything they've been through. Like, surprisingly, the person who gave the least biased opinion was Kaguya, when he was like, do you know what? He's a stand-up guy. You're acting like he doesn't have any, if anything, to change. He's a great guy, a great individual, a great human being. But he definitely has flaws, and some of those flaws include not being aware of how the things he says might be misconstrued by other individuals, especially in this situation, because the manner in which their approach was, I did not blame Miko. Miko, was like, men are trash. After this day, she lost all faith. And the thing that also went through my mind was that, imagine how many messages was it Asawagi? Well, I can't even pronounce her name. Is it
Osoro?
That's Osoragi. Imagine how many messages she's getting during the week, or during one day, from Miko. Like, it must be crazy.
Yeah. But if it's like that, where she just updates her anytime something happens to her, she's definitely receiving a lot of mail from that woman. Well, I don't blame. That just shows the closeness, you can just send. And so so But yeah, I think with Osoragi, it shows that she's comfortable with her friend. Obviously, they're quite close, so she'll just text her anything that comes to her mind, little updates on what happened, even though that was supposedly a big event. But what I wanted to ask you is, what do you think of the ideal man of Chika and Miko? Because it was quite, peculiar. Chika is her son.
Yeah, I'm just gonna presume the end of that question because I missed some of it. But yeah, both of their idol people they want to be in a relationship with was very interesting. Especially Ino's, even though Chika's, there was aspects of Chika's ones that that's it's just interesting because of the kind of person she is. But she kind of has a really fantasy image of what she wants, which is, you can tell she's very young, and she even though she probably wouldn't say that her wants or her ideal image of what she wants a partner would be was kind of based in some sort of false reality of what another human being could be. Because for her, even what she imagined was kind of crazy. It's like her prince, majestic, be there whenever she needs, knight in shining armor, perfect in some aspects. And it's kind of crazy because obviously, Shirogane was like, oh, so you just want someone that looks good, innit? And she said, no, personality over everything. But I was like, is that really what you wanted though? Because in your explanation, obviously personality might be a contributor, but it wasn't, especially regarding what she envisioned, it definitely wasn't on the card. There was no aspects of what the ideal individual personality would look like. It was more what they would kind of provide to match her energy and match her needs regarding somebody to be by her side and stand with her always. And it was kind of interesting, but she's young in it. And with Chika, I just found it so funny that everything she said was basically pointing towards Shirogane. And like you said, I do feel she mocked Shirogane too much, because she even mocked him in a way that she was so shocked and displeased with herself when she realized the person she was describing was Shirogane, which is very crazy. If you like Shirogane, you like Shirogane. You don't have to do the most, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree. I think she was doing the most, and yeah, I mean, I think if she wasn't the one working with him and seeing the way he's he starts at such a low point, but then he manages to improve himself, I'm not sure if she would have the same reservations. But it's only because she's the one teaching him. She's realizing that he's not good at everything, and he does work to get good. So it's kind of a bit of a contradiction that she's disgusted that her ideal man is someone like Shirogane, because obviously if you're not good at something and you're gonna try and improve, it's not gonna be pretty, and she did say she likes a man who against all circumstances strives to improve himself, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
So I don't really know if she understands what that actually means, or she's just saying pretty words. And I'm not even trying to just get onto Chika here. I'm just asking honestly, because I think it's just the adverse, because she's the one teaching him. He's a bit exasperated, and maybe it was more of a reality check, and that's why she's having that confliction in her mind, because she's saying that that's what she wants, but does she actually want that?
Yeah. No, it's true. I think she kind of has an idea, and that's been present maybe throughout her life, that this is what aspects in character and stuff I like. But now, like, this was actually kind of challenging that view. It's like, do you really? Because this is actually what that looks like, and what it looks like, the reality is not the fantasy that you kind of imagined and you kind of idealize, which is likewise with Miko. But like you said, Chica was definitely like heavy-handed with the insults and with the being taken back that she might have some sort of attraction to the president in that kind of manner, which you can't really be surprised. Was like, I don't know why she's so shocked, and I don't even know why anybody would be shocked, because he's such a stand-up guy, and he's the president. He in the food chain of like school, like he's at like elite. He's top of the top. You know that there's a lot of people after him, and I think that's what I want the author to kind of show, that beyond the group and beyond the student council, like Shirogane is high currency within the school, and I know all the other girls in the group. I know his name is being brought up in the group chat. I know for a fact. Chika can't play with Shirogane like his name ain't being brought up on multiple occasions in the group chats. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that president is high currency, and because they're in such close proximity with him, you know when you're close to someone and then you don't really understand how, it's not you understand, but the novelty wears off. Whereas if someone is looking at them from afar, they might be the most amazing person, but because you're tight, you're intimate with them, you understand. Yeah, I mean, they're cool, but they're not all. Obviously, there's other aspects to them that are not as cool, which kind of take away the shine. But from someone who's just looking on the outside, yeah, that's big bro. That's the president. That's my ideal man, because I don't know his thoughts, because I'm not directly working with him. I already seen him passing. In fact, that's even the vibe you get at the start of season 1. The way they set up the season, how they walk into the student council room, the way people were looking at them they kind of set the scene of how he's viewed in the school, because of he's the president. How people are like, oh yeah, there's Shirogane, and then there's the Kaguya as well, and then it kind of showed that from the outsiders, he is respected, but obviously the inner circle is more privy to some of his faults, which they ripped him to him for. So, but I did like how Ishigami, just to end that point, Ishigami, he never lets Chika slide, and that's why I like him. He's always onto her, because he's like, yo, why are you ripping the president? You have some problems yourself, cheater. You bring in games and you like cheating. We don't forget.
Hey, we never forget. Ishigami's a real one. He wants that smoke all the time. All the time. I think one of the last things I want to say about this episode is I'm surprised how much Shirogane takes on other people's opinions, and I don't know if that's because he's young, and I don't know because he maybe is the type of character he has, but he's so open to. Obviously, you should always take somebody else's thoughts and opinions, but he allows it to enter his inner personhood, allows it to actually attack and really have adverse effect on his mental state in that moment. And it's one of the aspects that I feel like Shirogane has to kind of deal with, because especially with his regarding his position and obviously the life that we presume and the roles we presume he's gonna enter as he matures and grows up. You can't let other people's opinions like really get to you, because the main premise of this episode was, or this section of the episode was, being objective. But the narrator said it best: we're all human beings and we all have extreme biases. So like sometimes even though other people are trying to be objective and you're trying to look at something objective, nobody can truly look at a situation as objective and see it clear cut, like black and white. So he has to just, take that on board and, just be himself and continue to do president things. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, I liked Kaguya. She's just said it, I don't want him to change. Be cool. I like that, keeping it. She kept it real. She didn't really add any season, and she didn't say, oh yeah, he's the most amazing person. Nah, he doesn't. It's just like point blank, he doesn't need to change. And then Shirogane, he took that and he ran with it as he should. But yeah, decent episode. I'm looking forward to the next one. Maybe it'll be a bit better than what we got this week.
100. If there's anything else you want to say, or we just close it as that.
Chelsea stink. You see my name once again. They let me down, and it's just this season has just been a massive failure. And I don't know what they're gonna do in the off season. I don't know what they can do to revive the form. All our defenders are leaving. The strikers will not strike. The midfield is just not connecting. The team, I don't know. Too cool. It's in your hands, but I don't know. I'm tired, man.
Guys, you hear that? This, I know you could probably tell throughout this episode where we're suffering out here. Not only is it hot, but our teams respectively are not doing well and not hitting the heights that they should be, letting us down continuously. And It's just been a tough weekend. Tough weekend. And obviously Kaguya didn't give us a good enough episode to make us forget that. If it was one of those previous weeks, we might have like disappeared into the greatness of Kaguya. But this week, not saying Kaguya's not great, it just wasn't hitting the heights that we've seen this season.
Oh, it couldn't mediate the pain that I'm currently feeling, because it's just I don't know. Yeah, it's painful still.
It's just so guys, keep us in mind. Hopefully our teams are on to bigger and better things in the future, we hope. If not, I don't know how we're going to survive. But that was the AK Pod, Kaguya Lovers War, episode 6. Thank you for listening. Whatever platform you're listening on, drop a like, rate the ting. Good vibes, positive vibes. Catch you guys in a bit.
Deuces.
I love you.